some of the specs for our seating setup here. So we've got our case, IH9280, then we've got the old Flexicoil setup here. So the Flexicoil 2320 230 bushel cart. I actually had someone ask that in the live stream we did, so I figured I better get that in the video. And then our 50-foot air seater here. And it's a little bit smaller than our John Deere setup that we're normally using, which is 60 foot wide and 430 bushel cart. So it's definitely a whole lot smaller than our normal setup. Well, here we go. We're on the last pass of this field. It's about 200 acres for this field, so we got a pretty good little start here this morning. Not even 9 o'clock yet, just about done. Boss actually already did all the end rounds, so yeah, this is it. And then we are finished down here, and then we'll hop across the road, kind of the other side of the power lines over there, and we'll get started on that field. And we are zipping away on the next field. This field's 160, that other one was 200, just kind of right across the road there actually. But yep, we're just kind of slowly getting cooking along here now. We've got 18.6 acres done so far. Switch it back to our fan. I like to have the fan up here just in case we do have any hydraulic issues. I'll know because the fan speed will shut off, so that's usually the one I always have up. But yeah, everything's kind of working along here pretty good. We are getting a little bit more wind now too. I was hoping to throw the drone out here quick, but I don't know what the wind's gonna end up doing, so it might be kind of interesting. And then I actually think the boss is trying to spray right now too, so I don't think he's actually gonna be able to spray because it is getting a little bit nasty out there. So we're about down to the end of the field here, so I kind of figured I'd show you guys what I have to do when we're turning around here. It might be kind of hard to see, I might be in the way a little bit, but these are hydraulic levers here, so I'm going to be pulling this one back, and then kind of at the same time I got to shut this master switch off here. So we'll just kind of show you guys that. We got just a couple more feet here to go. Just a second. Like I said, I'm going to try to stay out of the way, but we'll sort of see how this works here. Alright, that's the alarm telling us we are kind of at the end of the field here. There we go, we're out of the ground. The meter is off right now, and we're just kind of slowly turning around here. We don't actually adjust our speed any, we just leave that at 4.2. Get turned around here, and then as soon as the air seater is pretty straight, I'll drop this thing down. At the same time, it gets pretty close to the ground there. Turn the meter back on, make sure the hydraulic lever is still pushed forward and it's down all the way in the ground. And then I just hit the GPS button and get us lined back up on that as well. And then we're good to go. And these are pretty long fields here too, so it's a mile-long field. So it does take a little while to get back down to the other end, especially at 4.2 miles an hour. But yeah, it's just not too bad of an operation. The hoe drill is pretty simple compared to the disc drill. Well, we just got a nice quick little downpour through here, kind of made everything nice and muddy. Kind of a little bit too wet to be seeding here now. Just a little bit sticky out. Have to wait for it to kind of dry off here again quick. So one thing that's really different with the John Deere disc drill and this hoe drill is our depth is affected by the tires. So with all this mud, it's actually going to make it shallower. So I'm going to have to clean all this mud off these tires, or else we're going to be just a little bit shallower. You can kind of see just how much that stuff actually sticks up on there. So yep, we're gonna have to clean all the tires off, then I think we can get going again here. On to the next one here. Well, we've got this 160 finished up, and we're just cruising down the road now. We've actually got a total of 360 acres done so far, so not too bad for almost a full day and a half now, so be done before we know it maybe. And We are going on the next one here. I think it might be even drier over here though. So I should hop out one of these rounds and show you guys some of the big clods we got in the field over there. But it is kind of good. We're getting all this stuff leveled out here. There's some badger holes and whatnot out in this field. So the hoe drill compared to the disc drill is definitely going to kind of level everything off a whole lot nicer than the disc drill will. It's another absolutely gorgeous morning out here. Just beautiful. We're just getting everything all fueled up this morning. We're gonna get this fueled up, take it out, get the tractor fueled up, ready to go, and we're getting the good old T6 fueled up as well because we actually need to go get some more fertilizer so we can keep going here. We're actually gonna be getting a lot less acres today probably. It's about 9 o'clock now. Went and got everything serviced on the tractor, but we do need to go get fertilizer, so I have to take this truck to town and go get 12 tons of fertilizer. We get our 12 tons of fertilizer and we're heading back home, but man, it's just turning out to be an absolutely gorgeous day today. It's looking beautiful out there. Well, we finally got going this morning, but you can see the difference just a little bit of some moisture makes out here. Just kind of right behind the air seeder here. This is the first pass we've done of the day. There's some kind of dirt clods out there, but then if we go just kind of right over to where we were seeding last night, you can see there's a lot bigger clumps and stuff out here, which hopefully they'll kind of break down, but some of it was extremely hard, especially right over by the edge there. But yeah, everything should seed really nicely today, just getting that little bit of moisture last night. Man, what a gorgeous sunset we've got out here. Kind of hard to see through the tinted window, but oh, just beautiful out. Kind of eating a little dinner from the light of the GPS here. Just cruising along again. We're actually on another field now, and so we're about to, let's see, about 540 acres, I want to say. 520 acres, something like that. So got a lot done and got a little bit more to go. It's about 28 degrees this morning. Let me tell you what, the tractor is not the happiest in the world here. She was a little cold, and it's kind of a cold-blooded tractor anyways. But we're gonna let her warm up for a little bit, get all this stuff greased, and get seeding away again here. And today we're actually kind of right down by the coulee. And down we go into the coulee here. Main goal today is not end up in the bottom of the coulee. So we're just a little bit over 500 acres done right now, and we are gonna do some more seeding too, so we actually have to get some more seed. But the reason we cleaned all that seed last week is because buying new seed right now is $15.50 a bushel for seed. So yeah, definitely save you some money if you clean the seed yourself and use your own stuff. If we zoom way in, we can actually see the neighbors on the other side of the coulee there. They're just loading up their seeder, getting ready to go again. They were actually seeding the field kind of right across from us, right over there. But yeah, if we get some rain on Thursday, I think we're going to see way more air seeders going out around this area. And we're just kind of dropping into our little coulee bottom field here. Just a few little acres down there, but it's not too bad to get in and out of, so that's why we have this little field kind of right down in the bottom of the coulee here. And we're just getting ready to do the headland on this field here. We got the little bottom spot down there all seeded. We're actually just roading up to this end of the field there so we can work down and then back up, and we'll end outside of the field. And we've already got the headland done on the other end of the field. So we'll get this field wrapped up and then on to the next one. And now we're probably, let's see, a little bit over 600 acres finished right now. And we are on to the next one here. Actually over kind of by this field with a little pond right in the middle of it. This is kind of a nice field, mile long field, so long ways to go before we got to turn around, and we got all the washouts worked out on it. So we're just zipping along again. Actually, and I finally figured out that one sensor that was going off during the live stream. So that sensor that kept going off during the live stream was actually the blockage sensor on there, and why it was doing it so infrequently is because there was a little tiny chunk of fertilizer, not big enough to block the whole tube itself, but just enough to kind of partially block it off sometimes. So sometimes the wheat was getting stuck in there, and then other times it was getting past the hose. So that's why it was just doing it really infrequently like that. But it is nice and quiet in here now. And yeah, you never know when things are going to be broken. So that's, like I said, it's always kind of hard to do those live streams because you don't know when things are going to work and not going to work. We have a pretty good representation here of why we're using the hoe drill instead of the disc drill. So you can see all those little trash piles out there. Actually, really easy to see with the sun in the shade right now. But the reason we're using the hoe drill instead of the disc drill is because the hoe is kind of leveling those out, and the disc drill would kind of just ride on top of them and then seed into it. So we want to actually be seeding into the dirt and not into those little trash piles. And those trash piles actually came from when we had a downpour a couple months ago, and we had a bunch of rain in just kind of an hour or so like that. And so it just caused all the stubble to just kind of flood down the fields and just sort of make a mess of everything. Alright, we're actually just getting ready to load here, so I'll kind of show you guys how we do that. But first thing we actually do is if we pull pretty close here with the tractor, I can actually get lined up pretty closely so it's not too bad lining things up. So we've got our auger set up here. Not too bad, it's pretty light. I do have to back the truck up just a little tiny bit, but we've kind of got it set where we want it here. We take these little kind of flanges out. They just sit on the edge here, but they'll sometimes fall off and actually end up in the tank, so that's why we take those off. But yep, next thing I'm going to do is just back the truck up and we can start loading away here. We got the box up here, so the next thing we're going to do is actually just put a little bit of wheat in there, get some weight inside the auger type of thing. I'll try to get that all closed there. Then I'll actually end up opening it up just a little tiny bit so it's flowing. I'll kick the auger on. At the same time, I'll run up the ladder, get on top there, make sure that thing doesn't move and we're not spraying wheat all over the top of the tank. It's a little bit easier loading by yourself in our John Deere air seeder, but yeah, this one's a little bit older, so a little more running around. So we are now loading away up here. We got that about set right down there. And I just kind of use my foot to hold this tube over, make sure it's going in there. And it's, yeah, super convenient having the little remote there so we can open and close the end gate. It would be a lot harder without it. You're running up and down the ladder even more like they had to in the good old days. So it's, yeah, it's super handy. At least we have the remote here. But the John Deere is a lot nicer. We do have the auger control on top in the John Deere. This one doesn't have that. Makes things a little bit simpler. It kind of ended up being a pretty gorgeous evening here though. Man, a little bit chilly. Got a nice little breeze too, but part of fall weather, I guess. It took a little while, but we did get this thing filled. Just gotta clean out the bottom of the auger that you guys probably can't see. But man, just an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous sunset again. Little bit sticky this morning, and especially right here just because we're in the bottom of the coulee, or little wash, not really coulee. But we did get a little bit of some rain last night, which was good to see again. We're actually supposed to have some kind of this afternoon as well. But we're gonna head out, get the tractor all serviced up, and see if we can get a little bit of seed in the ground. Actually, we're kind of hoping we can use up what seed we have left in the tank there, because we are going to have to get some new seed, and we'd like to kind of figure out how much seed we're going to actually need. But this morning we should actually kind of get done with this, well, probably by this afternoon actually, and then we're gonna figure out how much more we're actually gonna be seeding too. And we did get a little teeny tiny shower last night, so it's seeding way better this morning than it was yesterday. A lot less clumps over there, and it's just not shaking as much stuff on the air seeder as yesterday. This field was pretty hard, so I was just going very slowly, slowing down a little bit in some spots because things were just vibrating so bad on the air seeder. We are on the last pass of this field now. So this is another 160 field we're finishing up here, and we're going to be at about 720 acres of winter wheat in the ground now after we get done with this one. I actually just did the headlands on this side, and then we have this one pass, and then we got to do the headlands on that other end as well. Hopefully right in time, because I don't know if you guys can see all those nice big dark clouds. Hopefully we're going to get a little rain. That's I would not mind having a 2-day weekend for the first time since harvest. Maybe get a little bit of some relaxing in. You know, I'd even take a 3-day weekend if we get a bunch of rain. Not too picky. We are kind of right back where we started, actually kind of right where we were working on the air seeder before we even started seeding. We're gonna seed this little field here. There's our other seeder, the big old John Deere over there. So yep, just finish up this little field here, not very big, and then actually kind of this other field on the other side of that John Deere tractor, then across the bushes over there, there's another little tiny field too we're gonna seed, if we got enough seed and fertilizer. Then we're gonna kind of figure out how much more we're actually gonna end up seeding. And we are on kind of the last field for now here. Kind of just right between mine and the boss's house here. If I just keep going straight, I'll just end up right in my living room. So, kind of doing the backyard right now. So we kind of got the backyard seeded here. And we're just folding up, because that's the only way we can actually get in and out of this field here. I should just take the Sawzall down here one of these days and chop a couple of these little carragana bushes down. Make my life a whole lot simpler. We are not done seeding yet. I just pulled into the next 160 acre field here. We're gonna get started on with the seed we have and then see how much more we need. But man, we got rain clouds kind of just circling all around us, but right above us there is just a big old gap of nothing. Man, we cannot catch a break out here. Just a little bit of rain would be extremely nice. Also, we should have maybe just quit while we were ahead here too. Got out to the field here, and on one of our transport tires here, we're kind of missing a little bit, so we might need to swap that around with one of the other tires. That way we don't lose that going down the road. That would have been a little bit interesting. Well, our clouds are getting a little tiny bit closer. Come here, little clouds. You can do it. Get over here. Come on, bring us some rain. It's actually getting way darker down south too, actually. But we still are kind of right in the circle here with nice blue clouds right over us, but we could definitely use those dark ones today. Oh, here we go. It's happening. We're starting to get a little bit of some raindrops out here. Man, that's good to see. Not quite enough to get us stopped yet. And we're actually trying to run the tank out, a seed. We got just a little tiny bit left. That way we can kind of figure out how much more seed we actually need to buy. So we'll see if we can get this thing seeded out before we get rained out. But I'm not going to complain one bit if we get rained out here. Oh, just beautiful to see this. Well, we ran out of seed, and it actually started raining pretty good down at the field, but up here at the yard, I don't think we got one drop. Start of Friday morning, and we are off to go get some more seed. We're in the old freight shaker here. Heading up, gonna pop over the ridge and then head another 20 miles or so over to my buddy's place, actually. He's a seed dealer around here. And so we're gonna get about 280 more bushels. That should finish us off there. That's about how many more acres we have too. That's kind of the simple thing with seeding wheat, is it's weighs 60 pounds per bushel. So you also seed it at about 60 pounds per acre. So it works out 1 bushel per acre when you're seeding it type of deal. So yep, we're gonna head over there, and actually we have to get fertilizer today as well too, so it might be definitely a late start to the day here. And I forgot to mention it too, our Thursday rain shower also did not really happen, kind of non-existent. We did have a little shower on that field we were seeding, but other than that, it was pretty much nothing. So definitely by the time we get everything ready to go again, it's gonna be bone dry out there. Well, out in the huge city, getting a little bit of seed from my buddy's farm here. We'll see if we got enough here. Trying to shoot for about 280 bushel. It's always kind of interesting using an auger. We're just kind of starting here on maybe the last fields again. So we're seeding directly into the lentils that we didn't actually even cut this year. They were just too short and they got hailed out, so all the lentils ended up on the ground. But we're gonna seed directly into the lentils themselves, which should work pretty well. There should be a little tiny bit more moisture in this field actually. We'll see how this works and hopefully maybe be done tomorrow if everything works okay. Nice little way to end the week here, Saturday. Just got done finishing up 180 acre field. Just pulled up to the trucks here. Gonna get loaded for maybe the last time of our fall seeding here, and then we're gonna end up seeding just this last 80 acre field, and hopefully we might be done seeding. Kind of in this last field here too, we do have a little tiny bit of a washout through here. It's not super steep though, so I think the hoe drill's getting in there pretty good. But that is kind of one nice thing about the disc drill, our John Deere style drill, compared to this hoe drill, is it does get in those bottoms really well. We've actually got some badger holes out here too. I'll try to get a little footage of one of those as well. Big old dirty badger holes out in my field there. I'm gonna drop a tire in it. We got another one coming up here too. Yeah, not very fun if you end up in one of those. Actually, I think we just went over one there. Yep, they're kind of large and always fun hopping over them. They are a little bit smaller than some of the foxholes we have in some of the other fields, but still not very fun to hit, especially in like the sprayer with the little tiny narrow tires on it. You definitely really feel them then. Alright folks, that is kind of a wrap on seeding for now. We're just gonna wing this thing back up, take it down to the yard, which is over that way, and we might actually be seeding a little bit more if we do get some rain, but it doesn't look like a great chance of rain. But we're kind of waiting and gonna see what happens. We do have a little bit of seed and fertilizer left in the tank there, so if we don't end up seeding, we'll have to just dump it out and throw it in a bin, but for now we are done. And so as we get this thing winged up too, I kind of forgot to mention, it was 1,100 acres we have seeded of winter wheat now. So we're gonna have a pretty good chunk of winter wheat next year, and hopefully it all survives through the winter and we get a bunch of rain next year. That way we actually have a nice crop to cut. And we're just slowly getting this thing all raised back together for road transport mode. Old Flexicoil did pretty good. The old case kind of had some issues, AC not working at the end there, but man, I was really surprised with that Flexicoil. Did a nice job.